With the week coming to an end, we're back again to take a look at the top tech stories that happened this past week. Story number one, tech layoffs continue. The U.S. tech sector's layoffs continue. More than 106,000 workers from tech companies based in the U.S. or with a large U.S. workforce have been laid off in mass job cuts so far in 2023. Facebook parent Meta plans to lay off another 10,000 workers, making the second round of significant job cuts announced by the tech giant in 4 months. The latest layoffs, announced on Tuesday, come after Meta said in November that it was eliminating approximately 13% of its workforce, or 11,000 jobs, in the single largest round of cuts in the company's history. Last year, more than 140,000 jobs were slashed from public and private tech companies as they were forced to confront rising inflation and a tumultuous stock market. The economy has come to reckon with a culture of overzealous hiring and soaring valuations, and startups are now forced to carry themselves through a frosty market as venture funding becomes barren. Story number two, OpenAI releases GPT-4. On Tuesday, OpenAI announced GPT-4, a large multimodal model that can accept text and image inputs while returning text outputs that exhibits human-level performance on various professional and academic benchmarks, according to OpenAI. Also on Tuesday, Microsoft announced that Bing Chat has been running on GPT-4 all along. GPT-4 potentially represents the opening of a new era in artificial intelligence. It passes a simulated bar exam with a score around the top 10% of test takers, writes OpenAI in its announcement. In contrast, GPT 3.5 score was around the bottom 10%. GPT-4's capabilities are an improvement over the previous model, GPT 3.5, in terms of reliability, creativity, and handling of nuanced instructions. Without a doubt, one of GPT-4's more interesting aspects is its ability to understand images as well as text. GPT-4 can caption and even interpret relatively complex images, such as allowing someone to show a picture of food in their kitchen and request meal suggestions. Story number three, Microsoft announces CoPilot. Microsoft announced a new AI-powered CoPilot for its Microsoft 365 apps and services, designed to assist people with generating documents, emails, presentations, and much more. The CoPilot, powered by GPT-4 from OpenAI, will sit alongside Microsoft 365 apps, much like an assistant, appearing in the sidebar as a chatbot that allows Office users to summon it to generate texts and documents, create PowerPoint presentations based on Word documents, or even help use features like pivot tables in Excel. It works alongside you, embedded in the apps millions of people use every day. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more, said Microsoft 365 head Jared Spataro. Copilot is a whole new way of thinking. Microsoft 365 users will be able to summon Copilot to provide information on an upcoming Microsoft Teams meeting, preparing people with updates on related projects, organizational changes like recent hires, and even updates on coworkers who might have returned from vacation. Story number four, SVB Collapse. Although this channel doesn't usually go into the financial industry, it's hard to ignore the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, considering it was the major tech bank for startups. We'll give a short and brief summary of this. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on March 10, 2023, after a bank run in a capital crisis led to the second largest failure of a financial institution in U.S. history. The bank was shut down by California regulators and put under the control of the U.S. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. The collapse triggered a crisis for tech startups, which have relied on the Santa Clara-based bank for decades. The roots of SVB's collapse stem from dislocation stirred by higher rates. As startup clients withdrew deposits to keep their companies afloat in a chilly environment for IPOs and private fundraising, SVB found itself short on capital. That's a quick wrap up for the week. Come back again next weekend to recap this upcoming week's top tech news stories.